Oh, you sweet, delicious little disasters. They took one look at your face and thought, soft target. Isn't that just hilarious? They clocked your kindness, your quiet, that polite little smile you wear like a well-pressed suit, and they filed you under harmless, as if gentleness were some kind of deficiency, as if stillness meant you'd forgotten how to detonate. And I am here, personally, theatrically, gleefully, to tell you that was the most spectacular miscalculation of their sad, predictable little lives. Welcome, welcome, my beautiful little time bombs. Now I know that phrase might sting a bit if you're new here. But stay, 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 stay. Because today we're going to dig into the exquisite, nerve-shredding reason why your comeback hits so hard. It literally rewires the room. This isn't about cruelty. No, no, no. This is about cosmic comedy. And if you're already vibrating on this frequency, if you know what I mean, then every single syllable is going to land like a punchline they never saw coming. You are the person they never saw coming. Period. Full stop. Curtain call. You know that delicious moment when someone has underestimated you so thoroughly, so completely, that when you finally open your mouth, their whole operating system just blue screens. That's your gift, gorgeous. They thought they could tap dance across your dignity and walk away whistling. They were wrong. They were so wrong. And you, oh, you gorgeous chaos. You're about to discover, or maybe you already know, that the harmless version of you, that was just a costume you chose to wear. And guess what? The universe just ripped it off you mid-performance. Here's the thing most people cannot wrap their tiny little brains around about you. In the unseen architecture of things, your energy is like a dormant volcano sitting under a flower shop. And I'm not being theatrical. Well, I'm always being theatrical. But the point stands. You don't need to raise your voice to rattle foundations, because your frequency does the demolition work for you. They mistook the light in your eyes for innocence, for naivety. They had absolutely no clue. And honestly, how could they? That your light is so blinding, so searingly bright. It illuminates every roach-infested corner of their true intentions. It's like someone flipped the fluorescents on in a room they'd been keeping very, very dark on purpose. This isn't about some petty little vendetta or a clapback you've been rehearsing in the mirror. Nah, this is about cosmic balance. The universe doing its accounting, and the receipts are immaculate. When you are what you are, one of the chosen ones. Your clapback isn't just syllables strung together. It's a frequency shift. It's like the entire atmosphere of the conversation changes the instant you decide to respond. You don't even have to lift a painted fingernail for their whole carefully constructed world to start dissolving. Their entire system was engineered around your staying small. The very moment, you stopped performing that role, the whole architecture collapsed. No demolition crew needed, just you, standing up. Your silence. Oh, that silence is doing heavy lifting, fam. It's the most devastating weapon in your arsenal, and I'm getting that so strongly right now. They expected tears, maybe begging, some kind of emotional meltdown they could categorize, label, file away, and control. Instead, you stood up in your power. And you know what? That was the most lethally unhinged thing you could have possibly done. Because they have zero framework for someone who simply does not shatter. Someone who just exists in their truth like it's the most natural thing in the world. Which, fun fact, it is. Wait, before we go any further, let me ask you something. Why so serious? You're acting like you're the only one who's been shredded by this world. My book, The Evolution of the Anomaly, shows you how to turn that pain into a lethal weapon. 73 pages of pure, raw evolution. Link in the description. Keep that tab open. Let's dive back into the real meat of this. Let me paint you a picture, because I think you need to see this. They have been circling your space like moths bumping against glass, trying to figure you out, trying to find the hairline fracture where they could wedge themselves in and start prying. But here is what they've discovered, and what they are discovering right now, in real time, and it is eating them alive. There is nothing more terrifying to a puppeteer than a puppet that cut its own strings. It's like they're groping for a lock that was never installed. They're looking for vulnerability, and all they find is open sky, clarity, steel-reinforced boundaries. You look approachable because you've actually tamed your ego. That's the real punchline. But your spirit is an ancient blade that has never once missed its mark. And the moment they felt that tectonic shift, the moment it dawned on them that they were tangling with something entirely, fundamentally, categorically different from what they'd assumed, they were shook. Yeah, they are literally locked out of your energy now because you sealed the entrance and the cosmos welded it shut from the other side. Now, here is where it gets positively delicious. The moment you stopped explaining yourself was the moment they lost the whole game, and the beautiful chef's kiss irony. They didn't even realize it was a game until they'd already lost. That's comedy, sweetheart. That's art. Your clapback is devastating because it's anchored in uncut, unfiltered truth. There is nothing anyone can argue with when you are standing in absolute, unflinching honesty about who you are and what you will and will not tolerate. They can't manipulate truth. They can't gaslight it into submission. It just sits there, solid, immovable, like a punchline that lands whether they laugh or not. They are literally choking on the consequences they manufactured when they assumed you were a soft target. That's hitting them like a freight train right now because... And here's the kicker. When you come for a chosen one, you're not just coming for a person. You're coming for someone who's got invisible backup that runs deeper than their little scheming minds can fathom. The cosmos does not take kindly to predators circling those who are here to do the real work. I want to say something important here, and I need you to really marinate in this because I know. A lot of you have been told you're too nice, too soft, too accommodating. I've heard it myself, and it's genuinely one of the funniest things anyone's ever said to me. So I want you to claim your power right this second. Your gentleness is not your weakness. It's actually your greatest weapon. Your greatest weapon. The divine deploys people like you to restore equilibrium to a world that's been tilting sideways for far too long. When someone takes a swing at you, they're not just swinging at a person. They're swinging at a chosen vessel. And that is precisely why. The blowback they're catching is so catastrophic. It's not you plotting revenge. No. It's literally the universe issuing a correction on their behavior. You are shielded by forces they cannot even detect. Like they see the surface level you, the physical, the tangible, the you that walks into rooms. But they have absolutely zero awareness of the invisible battalion standing formation behind you. It's like they're operating on dial-up and you're running fiber optic. They can't perceive the protection. They just feel the consequences. The consequences. Now let me get to something I think is genuinely crucial, darling. There are a whole lot of people walking around with preloaded assumptions about you. They think they've got you figured out based on some archived version of who you used to be. But here is what they catastrophically missed. In the past 3 years, something seismic shifted. You are not the same person anymore. You are running outdated software, a personality that wasn't even yours. And only now, through this entire brutal, beautiful process, have you stripped away enough layers to actually show your real self, your real face, to the world. And people are even more pressed because they're seeing even more brilliance behind the mask they thought they knew. That's unhinged when you think about it. That's unhinged when you sit with it. Your growth is literally an existential threat to them. Your evolution is dangerous to every dusty narrative they ever wrote about you. They want to keep you in a cage because that's where they had leverage. But you don't fit in that cage anymore. You just don't. There's something else happening here, and I really need you to clock this. Yes, it's real. You're not delusional. You're not being paranoid. You genuinely do have people who want to watch you crash and burn. They want to see you crumble, and I know that sounds like main character syndrome levels of intense, but it is the truth. There are literal people who want to sweep you off your trajectory. They want to body check you out of your momentum. They want to take what's yours badly. And they will pull out every trick. Sophisticated psychological warfare, spiritual sabotage, the whole circus. But here's the thing, sunshine. You've clocked the patterns now. You've realized, oh, I was too trusting. I was too naive. I was too available to people who were draining me dry. You identified your triggers, and now you are aware in a way you simply were not before. And those old tricks? They won't land again because you've got clarity now. How do you solve a problem you can't even see? You can't. But once you see it, once you really see it, everything changes. Everything. Some of you have been gaslit so relentlessly that you started gaslighting yourselves. You talked yourself into believing it wasn't really happening, that people weren't actually trying to do you dirty. And I'm here to tell you, stop. Just stop. It was real. It may have worn a different face back then, but something fundamental has shifted. And anyone still operating from expired intel about you is operating from a place of total, laughable misunderstanding. A devastating clapback doesn't mean being vicious. It means being immovable. It means having boundaries forged in fire. It means looking someone dead in the eye and knowing that you cannot be provoked or puppeteered or shrunk into playing small ever again. They're bewildered because they can't trigger you anymore. Their fatal error was assuming your patience was bottomless. But you know what? Your patience was a gift. And that gift, it's been revoked. Look at you now. Look at how they're moving now. Desperate, loud, flailing. That's the mirror reflecting the power you just reclaimed. You are literally witnessing the implosion of an old cycle that tried to keep you miniature. The nice person disguise is off and your true authority is radiating through every crack. They simply were not ready for this version of you, and here's the thing, that is categorically not your problem to fix. Stop feeling guilty for your strength. I'm saying that twice because it matters. Stop apologizing for being powerful. Stop folding yourself into origami so that other people can feel comfortable around you. The world does not need a diluted version of you. It needs the full, uncut, razor-sharp, truth-telling version of you. The one that doesn't over-explain, the the one that doesn't audition for approval, the one that knows their worth and does not negotiate. Ever. This is your season of reckoning, and here's the gorgeous part. You don't even have to throw a punch. Your energy is doing all the demolition. You're watching tectonic plates shift in real time because you finally stopped reading from the script they wrote for you. You stopped being the background extra in their story and became the director of your own. And on the flip side, on the other end of the spectrum, there are people who love you with an intensity that borders on feral. Those are the ones you might actually need to keep an eye on, because they're operating from sheer, unfiltered devotion. But here's what's important, love. You are stepping into a higher tier of spiritual authority. This is the separation of signal from noise, a massive wave of people, healers, truth-tellers, guides, influencers at every level, are stepping into their power right this second, and some of them have been squeezed dry for their gifts. They've endured burnout and self-neglect because there was programming, deep, ancestral programming of self-sacrifice baked into their families and cultures, martyrdom and subjugation of the self for the collective. But that's changing. You are changing the pattern. You've been scapegoated. You've had your destiny interfered with. But you're on the other side of that now. You cut everybody off.